Welcome to my channel. My name is Sue and today we're doing a quick yoga routine that will help you reset. So this is what I do when life is just going crazy and feeling really overwhelmed and I just need some time for myself to reset. So it's a really short routine and I hope it helps you. Okay, let's get started. Come on down into child's pose to begin. So if you need props, you go ahead and protect your knees or place a blanket in between your thighs and your calves. Otherwise, take wide knee child's pose. Knees wider, toes together, hips sinking back towards those heels and placing your forehead on the ground or on your stacked forearms. And starting to slow down your breath, breathing slowly in through the nose and then out through the nose. As you exhale, feel your shoulders relax and allow your belly to become soft. Feel tension melt off your shoulders. Feel the hips grow a little heavier. Take one more big inhale in through the nose. And then a soft exhale out through the mouth. Slowly make your way up into tabletop onto your hands and knees and make sure those wrists are under the shoulders, fingers spread. Take the right leg and stretch it back about hip height. And then lower that right knee down into the ground. Take the left leg and stretch it out about hip height. And then lower it back down onto the ground. Press down into your hands and knees to arch the spine. Come into cat pose. Come back up to flat back. Tuck your toes under and walk your hands forward. Keep the hips up high. Let the head drop in between the arms. Let the chest melt a little bit more if possible. Move back up into tabletop. Let the belly drop. Chest presses through those arms. Lift your chin up slightly. Cow pose. And move back into tabletop pose. Tuck your toes under again if possible. Come on down to your forearms and stretch your right arm forward. Let the head maybe rest on your forearms that's on the ground. Stay as you are or walk your right hand to the opposite side, so to the left side of your mat. You might have to shift the left elbow as well. And come on back to the center. Swap hands so your left arm is stretched out, right forearm is on the ground, and forehead on your right forearm. Stay as you are or walk your hands towards the right side, left hand towards the right side, and you might have to do the same thing for your right elbow as well. Inhale to come back to the center. Come back up into tabletop. Give those toes a little wriggle. Come into downward facing dog if you can. If you can't, just stay in tabletop and move a little there, shifting your hips side to side. If you're in down dog, pedal out the feet, bend one knee and then the other. And then move into downward facing dog. Just hold it here. Close your eyes. Breathe. Good. Now, whether you're in tabletop or down dog, step your right foot up in between the hands and gently lower the left knee down. Notice how my left knee is behind the hips. Let the hips sink. Make sure the front knee is over the front ankle. If you want a little bit more, you can lift the belly off the thighs. Place your hands on your thighs. So it's a little bit more low lunge pose. Release back into tabletop or downward facing dog. Take it back and then take your time. Step the other foot forward, left foot forward. Bring the right knee down. Once again, you be the judge. You can stay here with your hands on the ground. Or you can place your hands on your front thigh. Relax the shoulders, lift the chin up slightly and press those hips down and forward. Release. Move back into tabletop or downward facing dog. Once again, a little bit of movement, shifting the hips side to side. And then we'll come down into a seated position. So make sure you're comfortable here. One shin in front of the other, or simple crisscross applesauce. Okay. Place your hands on your knees, on your thighs, and close your eyes. You can take a peek at me if you're unsure, but you can roll your shoulders up towards the ears and then squeeze those shoulder blades down and back. Again, inhale. And then exhale. One more time. And release your hands down onto the floor somewhere behind you. Touch your fingertips onto the mat and puff your chest up towards the ceiling. Project your chest up, lift your chin. Breathe. And then relax. And coming back up to seated, place the right hand down. Sweep the left arm up and over. Hold it here. One more breath. And inhale, come on back up to seated. Place your right foot flat on the ground. Left foot is tucked in. Right hand just somewhere behind you. You can either wrap the opposite arm around the right knee or bring the elbow to the outside. So you've got your left elbow to the outside of the right knee. And once you're here, a soft gaze over the right shoulder towards the back wall. Unwind back to the front and a quick bow to the other side. Inhale, come on back up. And just kind of switch the legs around a little so that the other shin is forward. And place your left hand on the ground. Reach your right arm up and overhead. Inhale, come on back up to seated. Place your left foot flat on the ground, knee pointed up towards the ceiling. Left hand somewhere behind you. You can either wrap the elbow around, the arm around the knee, or bring your right elbow to the outside of that left knee. Either way, it's a soft gaze over your left shoulder. And then unwind back to the front. Bow to the opposite side for a breath or two. And inhale to come back up to seated. Bring the soles of your feet together. You can hold onto your feet or your ankles. Lean slightly forward, stay there, or release. Okay, so find some softness in Cobbler's pose. If this hurts your knees, maybe you're not quite open at the hips, and you might want to place some props, pillows under the knees. You can hold it here for a little longer. Pause the video if you like, and find some softness. And inhale to come back up to seated. Bring those knees back together, and then you're rolling onto your back. So carefully come down to your back, draw the knees in for a hug and a little bit of a roll out here. Rocking side to side. Close your eyes. Circular movement if that feels good, rolling in one direction and then the next. Bring the feet down onto the mat. Feet about hips width apart. Press the feet down strongly into the mat to pick the hips off. You can interlace the fingers under the hips. If that doesn't feel good, you can't get it properly under the hips, grab a hold of the edges of the mat. And just kind of give it a pull to help the hips lift a little higher. Okay. So we are pressing the feet firmly into the mat, especially the big toes, inner arches of the feet, kind of pulling inwards and down towards the mat. And then we'll release and roll the spine all the way down onto the floor. Okay. And final little bit here, if you have a wall handy, you're going to move right up to the wall and prop your feet up against the wall. It doesn't have to be exactly very close. Your hips don't have to be right close to the wall. But this is nice if you have a wall handy. If you don't, you can grab a hold of a chair or move right up against a sofa. And as long as you have your legs elevated, even if it's slightly bent like this, it's fine. Okay? And if you want to place a blanket under the hips to create some softness and a little lift to the hips, that helps too. So we're going to end off here with the legs up against something, a little elevated, arms relaxed, and you just close your eyes. And here's where you can stay as long as you like. So as you notice, my knees are slightly bent, that's fine. The feet are above the knees are above the hips. That's a great little inversion here, very gentle. So you close your eyes, let your breathing slow down. Find softness. Find ease. And enjoy. So staying here as long as you like. You can end the video right now if you want. Otherwise, we're coming back up and just closing off. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope this helps you somewhat, and namaste.